Gun 9 on your side live at 10 starts right now.
Pre-evacuation still in place for a wildfire burning north of Douglas. More than 1,000 acres charred. The risk of today's red flag warning in the region coming up. Good evening. Thank you for joining us. I'm Valerie Cavazos. But first, the Tucson Police Department is making big changes following a gun shop burglary. Despite several 911 calls, officers showed up 2.5 hours later. The gun shop owner asked 9 on Your Side to look into the delayed response times. Jennifer Martinez has spent the past 6 months getting the answers. She sat down with the police chief.
Yes, this is Margie at Frontier Gun Shop, and we've been waiting for a policeman for 2 hours. We were broken into. We had the truck out front, the doors broken into. I'm standing out here with the damn gun in my hand so they don't come back. Is anybody going to come?
That was the final 911 call made by the Sharas, the owners of Frontier Gun Shop, livid at the lack of response times from the men and women in blue. On November 1st, 2017, the owner, Jim Shara, received a call from his alarm company at 4:30 in the morning. The claim, glass break, but no entry at his gun shop on Grant and Country Club. Gun 9 was on scene just 4 hours after the break-in. This is exactly what sparked the alarm to go off. This is the glass breakage. That evening's live report led to the owner asking 9 on Your Side to investigate police response times.
So I said, well, I'll run down there.
The owner tells Gun 9 when he arrived, he saw 2 men cleaning up shop, attempting to take a barrage of rifles and handguns.
I knew one was in the van because he was handing them to the guns to the one in the van. My doors were all tore up, and they were in the back of the van, and I walked up to the van, and one of them come around the corner, and we got in a little scuffle. Shara tells 9 on Your Side that adrenaline kicked in. That's when he saw the thieves and confronted them. Police reports show that there was a fight between Shara and the 2 men taking the weapons before he called 911 at 5:08 a.m. I went down the ground, he went down the ground, he popped right back up, and we were playing tag around the van. I was trying to get to him.
911, what's your emergency? This is Frontier Gun Shop. I've been broke into 3156 East Grant Road.
The call dropped and dispatchers tried to get a hold of Shara twice after that, but were unsuccessful.
Please try your call again later.
Okay, I had that one also. It was a gentleman. He said he was at the Frontier Gun Shop, 3156 East Grant, and that he'd just been broken into.
All right.
All right, thank you.
No units arrived, so Shara called 911 again. This was sometime between when his call dropped and 6:16 a.m.
Yeah, this Frontier Gun Shop I just broke into.
Did you find somebody in your business, or did you just...
Well, I found them trying to clean my business out. They tore my whole front doors down and everything.
Okay, did you see anybody?
Yeah, I got their truck here.
Where's the person that broke into your business?
Well, I don't know. I got the vehicle. They took off.
Did you already call in?
I've been trying to call in for a half hour.
Okay, well, I showed that you called at 5:08.
Well, I don't know. I've been on hold for a half hour here.
Shara says despite the wait, still no response from officers. At 6:16 a.m., an hour and 8 minutes after Shara's initial calls, the alarm company makes their first call to 911.
So it looks like we had burglary alarms from the location. We called the customer first. Looks like they got there and they walked into a burglary in progress.
Right. You've already got the call in place.
Okay. They need PDs there.
I understand that. We have a call in place. And we'll be there as soon as we can.
6:49 a.m. and still no units. Frustrated, Shara's wife, Margie, makes the final call to police.
Is anybody going to come?
We have your call in place. We're going to answer it as soon as possible.
Well, this is ridiculous. 2 hours from a gun shop? You know, you guys used to be here in 5 minutes. There's something going on.
We have a lot of calls and a lot of priorities going on. We'll have an officer out there as soon as possible.
Well, isn't a gun shop a priority?
Like I said, we'll have an officer out there as soon as possible.
Well, 4 hours later. Thank you.
I sat down with Tucson Police Chief Chris Magnus to get answers. What took so long to get these business owners the help they needed?
I do agree that the time was clearly unacceptable. That's not how we want to provide service. I think there were some real communication breakdowns that contributed to this. But all of that aside, I agree that this was not handled well.
Police say 911 calls are prioritized. Crimes that have already happened, when the suspects are no longer there, are not as urgent as crimes still in progress. Chief Magnus says that this all comes back to mishandling of calls. And while the suspects had already left this location, Mr. Shara walked in on these thieves loading more than 21 long guns into a U-Haul that was still at the location. On that day, Tucson police confirmed there were 6 officers on duty in the Midtown division of the city, all of which were on other calls. 2 officers were on a domestic violence call, 3 responding to an unwanted person at a convenience store, which left 1 officer available. But in the entire city of Tucson, there were 27 officers.
One of the problems that morning was that we probably should have been pulling officers from other areas of the city, or even officers within that particular division who were on other lower priority calls to respond to that gun shop.
Chris Magnus admits his department is not where he wants it to be. But since this story broke, there has been improvements in the 911 call service.
Attempted to do since November is really learn from not only this call, but we are aware that there are many aspects of our response that are not always ideal. Some of that related to staffing, some of that related to protocols, some of that related to changes that are going on in the dispatch center. There are a lot of areas to work on, that's for sure, and we're doing our best to work on all of them.
Magnus says recently the Tucson City Council approved a budget that calls for more police officers to be hired, also to retain them and give them better compensation. As for Shara, this isn't the first time this has happened, but he hopes it never happens again.
They're easy to dispose of. They can sell them on the street. They sell them anywhere. They're easy to sell.
Jennifer Martinez, KGUN 9 on your side.
Hotshot crews are working to keep a fire near Douglas under control. What they're saying is now fueling the fire. You're watching KGUN 9 on your side. All right, Kyler Diggs joins us now. The Pinery fire has burned 1,200 acres and it spread quickly because of the gusty winds. We are now under a red flag wind advisory for a majority of the weekend, but that's expected to slow down this week. And of course, we'll be talking about that coming up in Maine weather. And the Pinery fire is burning in the footprint of the Horseshoe 2 fire back in 2011. Officials say that area has lots of grass, brush, and dead vegetation. That's what's fueling the fire. Evacuations remain in place for the Whitetail Canyon area. Now it's officially the first week of summer vacation for U of A students. How one business plans to survive summer without student customers. You're watching KGUN 9 on your side. See, everybody should have a coffee cup that big, right? Most businesses near the U of A have their own summer survival guide. Some stay open longer, some put on special events. But as 9 on your side's Max Darrow found out, one spot embraces the slow drip of customers.
We know things get tough for all of the businesses near the U of A when it's summertime and there's no students around. But there's one working on its 12th summer that actually does a lot better than you'd think, even though its main product is often as hot as the temperature is. Inside Cafe Luce, you'll find Kyle Gabdard whipping up a latte.
It's just steamed milk and espresso. Pretty simple.
He holds the fort down pretty well on these quiet days. A slow drip of summer customers is just a way of life on University Boulevard.
Some days are definitely a lot slower than others, but you know, overall, we do pretty well. We're in the positive.
While he makes fewer drinks, he says that's all right. The regulars who are not students still come by, and some of them like to brew at home. So they buy their roasts in bulk, which he says helps out a lot.
We do have quite a few wholesale clients as well, so it's not just the walk-in customers.
For the most part, though, Gabdard says the way they do business doesn't really change. Even when it's 110 outside, he can always count on someone coming in for a fresh cup of joe. Max Darrow, KGUN 9 on your side.
Now, your first warning weather with Kyler Diggs.
All right, we've got some nice weather out there right now. 76 degrees with just a few clouds and less wind. I think that's what everybody appreciates right now. Boy, it was a windy Mother's Day out there, but at least the temperatures were about where they should be for this time of the year. 91 degrees was our actual high, the average high, 91 degrees. 61, our overnight low, the average low, 60. So, hey, we did pretty good today as far as that goes. High temperatures around the rest of the region. 89 in Oracle, 72 Show Low, 90 degrees in Phoenix. Everybody just a little bit cooler today. Look at some of these wind gusts, though. 48 miles an hour in Tucson earlier this afternoon. 37 in Show Low, 38 miles an hour in Sierra Vista. But at least we capped it off with a nice sunset, a Mother's Day sunset. Shauna Halber, thank you for that picture right there. We've got one more for you. Valerie Smith, thank you for sharing your picture with us, and you can too. Share at kgun9.com is the address, and really nice color in the sky tonight. Let's take a look at the wind conditions right now. It has slowed down substantially. Most everybody's seeing wind speeds around 5 to 10 miles an hour. And temperatures right now, 76 in Tucson, 69 degrees in Nogales, and it's still 80 degrees though in Phoenix. For tomorrow, we'll see a lot of sunshine out there. It will get breezy again in the afternoon with highs in the lower 90s. And then current conditions across the southwest right now, really cooling off in some of those higher elevations. That little low pressure system bringing in some cooler air. 48 degrees there at the Grand Canyon and Flagstaff, 77 in Havasu, 76 degrees in Yuma. Temperatures across the nation, there's that cool pocket of air underneath that low pressure system that was bringing the wind over the last couple of days. Tomorrow, some warm air riding up ahead of this system, 80s and 90s into the southern plains, and in fact 75 degrees in Chicago, but still cool over the Great Basin and the central and northern Rockies as this slow-moving low-pressure system works its way off to the east. We are seeing some scattered showers and thunderstorms in the central plains tonight, but this low-pressure system, it hardly moved over the last 24 hours, so that's why we continued with those windy conditions across the southwest today. And the wind, well, it's still going to be with us tomorrow, but it's getting better. It's going to slow down a little bit tomorrow and slow down even more as we head on into Tuesday. So things are looking up around here. Wish we could get some rain in here. If you like thunderstorms to study them like I do, well, here's your chance to be a weather spotter. The National Weather Service still has the Skywarn weather spotter training going on, and this week they've got a session in Sahuarita Tuesday. You can go to the Tucson National Weather Service website to learn more about other locations and times and places. So overnight tonight, we'll see temperatures dropping into the 40s and 50s, so some comfortable sleeping weather for us. We're going to be in the upper 50s in the metro area tonight. And then for tomorrow, highs back into the 80s and 90s. Yes, a few 90s starting to show up on the map once again, especially west of Tucson with lower 90s popping up there. And we'll be right around 90 to 92 degrees in the metro area. Your Tucson forecast for the next 7 days looks like this. We will stay in the 90s. Probably our warmest day of the week will be Wednesday. Another system clips the area late in the week, brings the wind back, unfortunately, a little bit. But I don't think to the degree is what we saw over the last couple of days, but we stay in the 90s right on into next weekend. Some good sleeping weather through the week. Let's head on back to the desk with Erica and Valerie.
All right, thank you, Kyler. And you need umbrellas if you're going to just be sitting out there watching anything, any sporting event at all.
I think that the temperature on Friday looks pretty good. I think Arizona softball can handle that.
Hey.
We got some news about them today, too. They found out their fate tonight for the NCAA tournament, which will start this week. Who will they be facing? And more importantly, where? Plus, the final round of the Players' Championship. Could anyone catch Webb Simpson after yesterday's low round? Stay with us. You're watching KGUN 9 on your side.
And now, KGUN 9 on your side sports with Erica Weston.
Where are we going next? The 14 overall seed is the 8-time national champion Arizona Wildcats.
For the 32nd year in a row, Arizona softball is headed to the NCAA tournament. That is the longest streak in the NCAA right now. It is no surprise that the Cats were in the tournament, though they might not have hosted a regional. After dropping the final game to Stanford yesterday, head coach Mike Kendrea said the Cats were vulnerable to fall in the bracket. They are the 14 seed in the double elimination bracket. That will also see Mississippi State and North Dakota State here in Tucson. And the winner of the regional will head to Westwood in the Super Regional, but it's one game at a time for Arizona.
You know, from here on out, it's you know, getting yourself ready to play your best softball. And the team that can get on a roll at this time of the year is the team that's going to survive. And for me, it's, you know, you can look at all the seedings and look at all the selections, but the road to Oklahoma City, and once you get there, is going to be tough no matter where you're at.
I definitely didn't try to think about it too much before because you never know what's going to happen. It's out of our control. We did what we could during the year in order to earn that spot, but it's definitely exciting to see our name up there, and I'm excited to get started here at Hillenbrand and hopefully just continuing to the World Series.
All right, here's the matchup Friday at 8:30 against St. Francis, pending the game prior finishing on time. Again, it is double elimination, and if you aren't heading out to Hillenbrand, you can stream the game on ESPN3. All Webb Simpson had to worry about in today's final round of the Players' Championship is just finishing the round. Tiger Woods made a big run yesterday to get close, but with an 8-shot lead, Simpson was pretty much on cruise control all day, though there were some exciting moments. The final round at TPC Sawgrass, Brooks Koepka, a month away from defending his U.S. Open title on the 16th hole. Koepka, he's at 7 under par. Check out this shot. Val, this one is for you with a 6-iron. A slam dunk. That is an albatross for Koepka. That's also a double eagle. He finished at 11 under par, 63 in the final round. Tiger posted his lowest round ever at the stadium course yesterday, making another run in today's final round on 12. A nice approach shot that would set up a birdie putt for Woods. He's just 4 back of the lead at that point, but check out what happened on the famous 17th hole at Sawgrass. The day fell apart for Tiger. His drive goes into the water. He'd go on to double bogey the hole. Tiger carded his 3rd best 72-hole score of the Players. He finished at 11 under. But even after a double bogey on 18, no one was catching Simpson. He taps in the putt, 18 under in the tournament, 73 on the day. Webb Simpson wins the Players' Championship.
You know, to win a major championship and a few other tour events and then go, you know, I guess it's over 4 years without a win. You know, I never doubted myself, but at the same time, that's a long time.
I would have gotten onto a better start this week. If I would have had the game I had this weekend, beginning of the week, I would have given, you know, Webb a little bit of a run. But this week, the scoring was so low, I just didn't do it the first 2 days.
To the NBA, the Eastern Conference Finals, Boston and Cleveland. First quarter, Celtics up by 2. Al Horford works his way past the Cavs' Kevin Love on the baseline. Horford lays it in. 4-point lead for Boston. First quarter up 11 now. Horford again working on Love in the lane. He gets the bucket and the foul. The free throw was good. 21-7 Celtics. Second quarter, check out the block by Jaylen Brown on Love. And then knocking down the long jumper, 55-31 Celtics. They were on a roll. To the second, up by 22. Horford left all alone on the wing. He knocks down the 3. Celtics cruise, taking game 1, 108-83. And Mother's Day at the ballpark today. Diamondbacks and Nationals wrapping up their series. Top of the 8th, tied at 4. Former Diamondback Mark Reynolds making them pay. He hits his 2nd home run of the game, a 2-run shot off of Archie Bradley. That also scores Howie Kendrick, and the Nats take a 6-4 lead. Bottom of the 9th, last chance for the Diamondbacks. John Doolittle strikes out David Peralta. Washington hangs on for the 6-4 win. Arizona is swept, and they have now lost 5 in a row. I think I'm going to take on the challenge now. Every weekend, we got to find a slam dunk, like hole-in-one golf shot for you, because that really gets you excited and into the golf.
It's just amazing.
I know.
Little a cup.
I know.
A little ball, and
they're incredible. I got to find one every weekend now.
Okay,
challenge
thank you.
accepted.
Thank you. I want to see it every weekend. We'll be right back. It was a wonderful day for all you moms out there.
Yes, and happy Mother's Day to
Thank you.
So, yes, and I got a little pink in the tie, you know, in honor of all the hardworking moms out there. And they had to work a little harder to stand up in that wind this weekend, I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
And we're going to get a break from it for the next few days, but it comes back by the end of the week. I stay in the 90s, though.
See, we got our workout.
Yeah,
You know, so.
you sure did.
Thank you for joining us. Happy Mother's Day. Have a good night.